I found it in a cedar box behind the winter coats. Smelled like old tobacco smoke and Sunday dinner notes. The brim was bent from county fairs and summer rodeo, a sweat-stained crown that kept the sun off years I'll never know. Mama said your daddy wore it clean through better days, from oilfield dawns to midnight bars and back road TSAs. I tipped it like a prayer and felt the weight of time. The silence in our farmhouse rang like pedal steel in rhyme. There's a scuff along the side from dancing with Miss Jean, a lipstick print she never wiped, the color tangerine. A horseshoe pin still clings where luck once made a stand, but luck ran out the same year he let go of Mama's hand. I set it on the table by Polaroid that fades, our boy upon his shoulders, fireworks and lemonade. I swear I heard him chuckle low, say, kid, don't you forget, the road is rough, but love's the one good gamble you can bet. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson and tears on hardwood pine, a map of every heartache pressed in creases of the crown line. If I wear it to the sunrise, I might hear his voice again. Stand tall, son, tip your hat, forgive, and ride into the wind. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, I brush and breathe it in. It smells like sweat and second chances, diesel, smoke, and gin. And I ain't much for sermons, but I'll testify tonight, that hat still points me homeward when I can't see the light. I took it to the sawmill where I punch a rusted clock. The boys all laughed till Hank looked up and said that hat can talk. I told him about the bar stools where my daddy fought his pride, how some mistakes can teach you more than any preacher's guide. At lunch I called my brother, we ain't talked in years. Said meet me by the cotton gin, we'll trade some southerly beers. He showed up with his temper, I showed up with that brim. We cried like kids at recess, grief turned strangers into kin. We drove out to the river, to the field of winter wheat, laid down that old Stetson where the rose and heaven meet. The sunset bled like velvet on a fiddle's lonesome string, and somewhere in the rustling we heard spurs and angels sing. Forgive the grudges buried, Mama's whisper rode the breeze. Your father wasn't perfect, boys, but love was in his knees. We left the hat right where it lay, then turned to face the town. I felt 10,000 miles of hurt lift off and settle down. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson and tears on hardwood pine, a map of every heartache pressed in creases of the crown line. If I wear it to the sunrise, I might hear his voice again. Stand tall, son, tip your hat, forgive, and ride into the wind. There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, I brush and breathe it in. It smells Smells like sweat and second chances, diesel smoke and gin. And I ain't much for sermons, but I'll testify tonight. That hat still points me homeward when I can't see the light. Maybe heaven's just a porch swing humming gospel through the pines. And time's a dusty two-lane road that loops and realigns. If I could trade these working boots for one last county fair, I'd buy 2 rides on the Ferris wheel and feel his fingers in my hair. But life keeps turning bar stools into pews and back again, and fathers keep on living in the habits of their kin. So I'll keep that old Stetson where the morning coffee brews, and tip it at the mirror till forgiveness comes in twos. There's dust on Daddy Stetson, let it be my weather vane. Swing me toward the mercy when I'm driving through the rain. If I wear it to the sunrise, I might hear his voice again. Stand tall, son, tip your hat, forgive, and ride into the wind. There's dust on Daddy Stetson, I'll keep it by the light. A creed of crease fell, love and loss to guide me through the night. And when my boy goes searching for a map of where I've been, I hope he finds my Stetson, smells of smoke, and breathes me in. I found them by the register in a dusty Texaco, cellophane and thornless stems for lovers on the go. $2 for a promise that I should have made last spring, but payday came and pride got loud and love forgot to sing. The cashier with the sunburn said, "Son, you look half broke." I told him love ain't something solved by marbles or coke. Still I bought those budget pedals, stuck the change in pocket lint, climbed into my pickup like a penitent in Flint. There's a payphone by the laundromat that swallows every coin. I dialed your number, chewed my lip, rehearsed the tender joint. The dial tone stretched like cattle paths, the quarters clink like rain. Please leave a message, caught my heart and leaned it into pain. I said, I've got $2 roses and a truck bed full of shame, a jukebox of apologies with every song the same. I know I missed your mama's pie, your cousin's high school game, but if you got 1 minute left, I'll try to learn your name again. $2 roses and a payphone ring, cheap little tokens for a golden wedding ring. If I could buy back every night, I'd let the Lone Star sing. I'd spend it all on you and let the midnight angels wing. $2 roses and a payphone ring, I'm standing in the neon with a heart on a string. If you pick up, I swear I'll learn to listen when you speak, and water every promise like the roses by your cheek. We used to watch the freight trains paint the river with their noise, eat tangerines on tailgates, count the high school girls and boys. You said the future's just a garden if we plant it row by row, but I was busy chasing tips and letting wages blow. I missed the night your landlord hung an overdue red note. You boxed your spring dresses and your grandma's Sunday coat. I should have been a harbor, not a headline in a bar. Instead I gave you thunder when you needed just a star. I left the station parking lot and passed your chapel street. The porch light off the window bare one lonely wicker seat. I hung the roses on the handle with a letter tucked inside. Please meet me at the payphone, I'll be waiting by the tide. The tide was just a metaphor, the river doesn't move, but time can be a current if a fool will let it prove. I leaned against the payphone, heard the laundromat's old hum, prayed for you like country boys who finally learned to come. $2 roses and a payphone ring, cheap little tokens for a golden wedding ring. If I could buy back every night I let the Lone Star sing, I'd spend it all on you and let the midnight angels wing. $2 roses and a payphone ring, I'm standing in the neon with a heart on a string. If you pick up, I swear I'll learn to listen when you speak, and water every promise like the roses by your cheek. A pickup braked at midnight by the thrift store's busted sign. You stepped out in your work boots with a box of borrowed time. You said, I heard your message, but I've heard them all before. I need more than bouquet receipts and quarters for a door. I took your hands and told the truth I never could afford. I'm broke on pride and overtime, but rich in want of more. Let's plant these cheap carnations, call them roses in the rain, and I'll show up like Sunday, kitchen clean and gentle plain. $2 roses and a payphone ring, a budget kind of Eden, but it grows an honest spring. If you can spare forgiveness, I will trade you steady days and build a porch of evenings where the humming washer plays. $2 roses and a payphone ring, we'll teach our love to blossom on a shoestring, simple thing. You slipped your arm inside of mine, the laundromat lights dim, the phone went quiet, hearts went loud, and hope came flooding in. Out on County 17, there's a dance hall shaped like dreams, a rusted sign that blinks all night in drowsy amber beams. A neon barn owl guards the door with one bright haunted eye. He watches every heartbreak try its wings and dare to fly. I pulled in with my paycheck folded twice inside my boot. My shirt still smelling sawdust clean, my worries taking root. The band was tuning fiddle, steel was crying through a grin, and jukebox ghosts were stacking bets on who would fall again. She stood beside the pool table in boots the color wheat, a sundress like a rhyming word my heart had yet to meet. The barkeep slid a root beer float to some kid heading home, and I walked up to the jukebox like a miner to a poem. I punched in, he stopped loving her, and Amarillo moaned. The barn owl winked his steady light like sun don't start too soon. But courage comes in two steps when the drummer counts to four, and heaven sometimes hides itself behind a hardwood floor. Neon barn owl, keep your vigil from on high. Blink your tired blessing while the country angels cry. If I hold her through the chorus, will the night redeem the day? Will the owl forgive the rookies who don't know the steps to pray? Neon barn owl, steady heartbeat in the rain. Watch our boot heels spell a promise neither one can quite explain. If I lose my fear by midnight, let your halo never tire. Keep us honest, keep us humble, keep one eye on the fire. We dance like porch swings creaking under August honey sweet. Her laugh lit up the rafters where the summer swallows meet. She said her name was Caroline, her daddy hauled the grain. Her mama ran the thrift store where the lost and found remain. She left a ring in College Station, left a boy with plans and pride. Came back home to let the river teach her how to ride. I told her I'd been saving quiet like a mason saves his stone, building up a little house to keep from feeling so alone. Between the pool cue clatter and the hush of pedal steel, we wrote a slow forgiveness for the cards we didn't deal. The barn owl blinked approving while the drummer softened hands, and Caroline leaned close enough to understand my plans. I won't promise Sunday sermons or a white piano light, but I can offer honest work and showing up each night. She smiled like distant thunder when the weed is asking rain. Keep your word and hold this waltz, repeat it plain and plain. Neon barn owl, keep your vigil from on high. Blink your tired blessing while the country angels cry. If I hold her through the chorus, will the night redeem the day? Will the owl forgive the rookies who don't know the steps to pray? Neon barn owl, steady heartbeat in the rain. Watch our boot heels spell a promise neither one can quite explain. If I lose my fear by midnight, let your halo never tire. Keep us honest, keep us humble, keep one eye on the fire. Last call felt like harvest time. The lights came up slow gold. The bard I hummed a lullaby for hearts a little old. I tipped my hat to Caroline and swore I'd walk her home, past tractors sleeping in the dark and steeples made of chrome. We paused beneath that owl's gaze, a lighthouse in the dust, and pledged the simple currency of showing up and trust. If neon can be holy, then the owl has learned to preach, with one eye on the sinners and the other on the reach. Neon barn owl, keep your vigil from on high. Blink your tired blessing while we learn the lullaby. We'll build a porch of Wednesdays, not just fireworks in July, where the steady beat of living keeps the worry something shy. Neon barn owl, falter, don't you fade. Shine through winter, shine through pay cuts, shine when plans are frayed. We'll dance again next Friday, leave a feather at the door, a sign that love grows quiet first, then braver on the floor. I parked the Ford where gravel turns to red clay under pines, right where the rusted cattle guard marks out the county lines. The radio's a whisper and the moon is church bell white, and I got sins that learn to dry beneath these Friday lights. A thermos full of coffee, 2 receipts I shouldn't keep, a name that isn't mine upon a number saved too deep. The crickets do the counting like a ledger kept by God, and every mile I cross tonight feels longer than I thought. I told my wife I'd take the late shift, stocking feet and nails, but truth is I've been fixing what the truth already fails. Her mama's been in hospice, our boy needs winter shoes, and fear can make a fella chase a devil he can't lose. A poker game on River Road said double down or fold. I said a prayer and threw a bet the size of what I owed. I won enough to shake a man and lost it in a breath. A sinner knows the alphabet from A to nearly death. County line confessional, this fence post hears it all, from pickup beds and backseat vows to names we won't recall. I laid my pride like pocket change on dirt that drinks it down, and begged the moon to write me out a pardon for this town. County line confessional, I'm kneeling in my dust. I swear I'll bring the truth back home and learn to earn her trust. If grace can cross a cattle guard, then let it cross to me, and I'll be at our kitchen table where a better man should be. I touch the hood, it's cool and slow like temper after storms. I hear the owls accounting for the ways a heart performs. There's lipstick on my shirt sleeve, no, not what you might think. It's where my sister hugged me when she spilled her cherry drink. She's 6 months clean and working nights, I brought her tater fries. We cried about our daddy's debts and all his quiet lies. The past can be a switchblade, but tonight I set it down and pick up every simple thing that keeps a man in town. I text my buddy Caleb, man, I'm done with borrowed fire. He writes back, meet at sunrise, church needs hands and wire. There's gutters that need hanging, there's a roof that needs a nail. There's penance you can hold and lift that doesn't have to fail. I see my wife in porch light, pouring coffee in her mug. Our boy asleep on couch cushions, clutching his stuffed pug. A picture like a sermon that no preacher ever spoke, and suddenly the tightrope of my secrets finally broke. County line confessional, this fence post hears it all, from pickup beds and backseat vows to names we won't recall. I laid my pride like pocket change on dirt that drinks it down, and begged the moon to write me out a pardon for this town. County line confessional, I'm kneeling in my dust. I swear I'll bring the truth back home and learn to earn her trust. If grace can cross a cattle guard, then let it cross to me, and I'll be at our kitchen table where a better man should be. Maybe mercy's just a long, slow drive with windows cracked, Where wind undials the gasoline, the past has left you packed. Maybe love is just a ledger where the columns never end, but every little honest day is interest in a friend. I'll sell that rod and reel, I'll sell the shotgun, sell the bike. I'll sell the things that let me leave the things I really like. Give me back the Mondays, give me back the grocery list. I'll pay my debts with dishes dried and foreheads gently kissed. County line confessional, the crickets say go on. The night forgives a fool who finally waits to see the dawn. I'll cross this cattle guard and keep the tires on the road, and lay the true like lumber till we build a lighter load. County line confessional, I'm done with borrowed flame. I'll sign my name in daylight and be worthy of my name. If grace can cross a cattle guard, it crossed tonight to me. I'm headed for that kitchen table where a better man will be.
They say the water's shallow where the sycamores lean low, but grief is like a river with a mind you'll never know. I brought my black dress Tuesday, brought the lilies Wednesday night. By Thursday I was dancing with the shadows in the light. The town calls it Widow's Creek because the current speaks in rhyme. It keeps the records nobody writes, the debts of time and time. I stood there with his wedding band and satin on a string, and listened to the bullfrogs preaching baritone of spring. He hauled the coal and played the steel at Miller's every third. He wrote me notes on napkins, native Shiner beer and word. A summer storm took corners off the corn he used to tend. A winter took his laughter like a favorite Sunday friend. The doctor said he's tired. The nurse said hold his hand. The preacher said we're dust to grace. The foreman said we stand. And I said nothing, only hummed the tune he taught our girl. A waltz for narrow kitchens where the pots and pans still swirl. Widow's Creek waltz, carry me slow. 3 steps of sorrow where the soft waters go. Spin me through silence till the stars understand. I'm dancing with empty, but holding his hand. Widow's Creek waltz, moon on the reeds. Teach me the rhythm that mends what it bleeds. If memory's a mirror that fogs when I breathe, let love be the handkerchief I never must leave. Our daughter sews on Sundays, thread like sunrise in her hair. She left a thimble on the sill, a tiny silver prayer. She said we'll quilt his shirts, mama, into squares of days we knew. I nodded like a granite stone that rain keeps talking through. The creek remembers pickup trucks and weddings under oaks, the vows that held when jobs ran out and rent turned into jokes. It saw me drop a bottle once, then never touch again. It saw him hold my shaking until shaking lost a friend. I brought the fiddle case he left beneath our cedar bed. The rosin smells like campfire, like things the angels said. I rosined up with clumsy hands and tuned a half a prayer. The bow a little crooked like my heart without him there. The frogs kept time, the reeds kept sway, the water hummed along. I played his waltz in widow keys and let the night be strong. It sounded like a promise made of weeping maple wood, that sorrow might not leave me, but it learned to do me good. Widow's Creek waltz, carry me slow, 3 steps of sorrow where the soft waters go. Spin me through silence till the stars understand. I'm dancing with empty, but holding his hand. Widow's Creek waltz, moon on the reeds, teach me the rhythm, the mends what it bleeds. If memory's a mirror that fogs when I breathe, let love be the handkerchief I never must leave. Some dances don't require feet, they only ask you stay, to sway with kitchen's calendars, the smallness of a day, to boil the beans, to lock the door, to fold the winter sheets, to light the porch for those who pass the mailman and his beats. If heaven holds a dance hall where the saints all clean their boots, I'll wait right here and practice steps in humble earthly suits. My ring will be a metronome, my breath a counting 3. And when the creek says ready now, I'll waltz to where he'll be. Widow's Creek waltz, steady and kind, teach me to carry a love left behind. Spin me through seasons till sorrow can sing a harmony softer than ache in a ring. Widow's Creek waltz, long as the pines, I'll dance every evening where moon water shines. And when I'm finished, I'll set down the bow, our daughter will hum it, and the creek will know.
Sunrise paints the silos like cathedrals made of rust, and farmers bring their weathered hopes in pickups caked with dust. The bucket belts are hymnal loud, the augers hum like choirs. The scale house is a confessional for broken honest liars. I clock in with a thermos and a lunch my wife packed neat, a sandwich like a sermon on the ordinary sweet. The foreman brother Lawson wears a cross of diesel stains and blesses every bumper crop and blesses busted chains. We weigh the grain, we sign the slips, we tally what we can. We watch the sky like choir girls who love a steel guitar man. This year the hail came sideways, this year the spring ran late. This year we prayed to get enough to pay the note by 8. A kid from town joined last July, still smells of toner ink. He listens when the elders talk and learns to never blink. He asked me why we whistle when the chutes let colonels go. I said it's how we tell the Lord we like the sound of grow. Grain elevator gospel, rising like a song, a chorus made of steel and dust that somehow sings of calm. If heaven needs a choir, we'll bring our boots and brooms and sweep the threshing floor of time beneath the harvest moons. Grain elevator gospel, lean into the day where miracles are measured out in bushels, grit, and hay. We're tired as the thunderheads, but steady as the plains, and grace is in the augur's humming and in the golden rains. Old Mary from accounting keeps a picture near her desk. Her boy in uniform who called last fall from somewhere west. She bakes a pan of brownies for the cruise on Fridays late. Says sweetness keeps the bitter small and leaves them by the gate. A farmer named Ramirez lost a tractor in the flood. We passed the hat, we fixed the lines, we hauled him through the mud. The kid from town just watched and wrote the numbers in his head, then showed up with a socket set and grease under his spread. At noon the church bell carries to the dust beyond our lot. You'd think that steel and diesel wouldn't hear it, but they're caught. The pigeons in the rafters coo a stubborn kind of peace, while Lawson says, let's eat, then lift that east side trap release. We eat our sandwiches and trade the forecasts and the jokes. We talk of grandkids' lower backs and bills upsetting folks. And in that tired laughter is a promise like the rain. We'll haul each other's sorrows like we haul the season's grain. Grain elevator gospel, rising like a song, a chorus made of steel and dust that somehow sings of calm. If heaven needs a choir, we'll bring our boots and brooms and sweep the threshing floor of time beneath the harvest moons. Grain elevator gospel, lean into the day where miracles are measured out in bushels, grit, and hay. We're tired as the thunderheads, but steady as the plains, and grace is in the augur's hum and in the golden rain. And when the siren wails at night because a belt went wrong, we show up with our flashlights and our stubborn work song. We lock out, tag, and double check. We keep each other safe, because a barn of angels watches when you're standing on that faith. We write our names in Sharpie on the break room coffee can to mark the days we didn't quit, to mark the shape of man. If gospel is good news, then hear the elevator say, hold fast, the morning learns your name each day. Grain elevator gospel, let the spouts ring gold, a liturgy of living warm by hands and shoulders old. We'll count the bushels, count our blessings, count what we can spare, and send a little kindness like a prayer into the air. Grain elevator gospel, sing us into night when porch lights bloom like halos
the ledger balance right. If heaven has a time card, punch it with our names and pay us out in family and bread and steady rains.
She tied a note to fence line with a ribbon cut from plaid. Said love is in the pasture, but it kicks just like your dad. I found it on Sunday when the cattle licked the dew. A barbed wire Valentine that said I still remember you. We met behind the feed store where the freight train splits the air. She wore a hat 2 sizes, big in braids like answered prayer. I carved our names in cottonwood. She said don't carve too deep. Some things are made for letting go like dandelion sleep.
Recorded by the river in a truck that couldn't shift. We argued small, we kissed like spring. We learned the art of thrift. Her mama ran the diner, mine the register at Ace. We made a life in overtime and secondhand embrace.
But storms don't ask permission, and a twister took our plans. It turned our room to shoeboxes and scattered wedding bands. We stitched and patched and gritted teeth. We prayed and loaned and tried, till one night at the kitchen sink she bent and softly cried. Barbed wire Valentine, tender through the pain. A love that holds a pasture while it wrestles wind and rain. We're bleeding on the message, but we read it line by line. I love you in the thorn and bloom, my barbed wire Valentine. Barbed wire Valentine, careful how you hold. The sweetest words are sometimes wrapped in something rough and old. We'll mend the fence together till the lilacs choose to climb and tie our names in ribbons on a barbed wire Valentine.
Took a second job at night, she took a class at noon. We traded like a 2-step counting down a stubborn tune. She learned to tune a lawnmower, I learned to frost a cake. We stored our pride in mason jars for days we couldn't make.
The pastor's wife brought casseroles, the neighbor fixed the roof. Her brother lent his Chevy till we got a running hoof. And little by the little, like a garden knows the sky, our hope grew through the rusty wire where swallows learn to fly.
She left that note last Tuesday when her words were tired bones. She wrote, I ain't leaving, I'm just asking less of stones. I need a porch with evenings where the talk is gentle rain, not thunder out of nowhere or a ledger made of blame.
I folded up a ribbon, set the pliers by the post. I walked inside with muddy boots and held the one I chose. We didn't say a clever thing, we just began to mend, and found that love's a fence that needs 2 hands again, again. Barbed wire Valentine, tender through the pain. A love that holds the pasture while it wrestles wind and rain. We're bleeding on the message, but we read it line by line. I love you in the thorn and bloom, my barbed wire Valentine. Barbed wire Valentine, careful how you hold. The sweetest words are sometimes wrapped in something rough and old. We'll mend the fence together till the lilacs choose to climb, and tie our names in ribbons on a barbed wire Valentine. Someday we'll own a garden fence, a picket's painted cream, with morning glories climbing like a shy and certain dream. But till that day we'll string the wire with leather gloves and care, and leave a ribbon here and there to show that love was there.
I cattle guard will sing a note each time the day begins. A radio will hum of us and unregretted sins. We'll lean against the post and count the breaths we didn't waste, and watch the sun turn copper as it slow walks down in haste.
Barbed wire, a Valentine, hold us through the years. We'll thread our vows between the thorn and laughter, sweat and tears. You taught us how to be the kind of strong that doesn't shine, the honest, steady, everyday, our barbed wire Valentine. Barbed wire Valentine, ribbon with the truth. We'll tie another every spring and live like faithful proof. The cattle low, the crickets sing, the cottonwood keeps time. We're hand in hand and mending on a barbed wire Valentine. Miller's barn leans just a little like a cowboy after rain. The sawdust floor remembers every boot and every pain. The neon sign is blinking out, but still enough to see. A barkeep named Dolores who could outshoot history. The band's been playing truck stop hymn since 9 o'clock or so. The drummer's wife is timing him, the bass man's set to go. I walked in with a week that felt like hay bales on my spine, and found a pew in barstool form, communion made of time. There's Benny with his pool cue chalking up another prayer, and Rita from the feed store twirling laughter in the air. A foreman in a Sunday shirt, a welder in his blues, a widow tracing wedding rings and condensation dues. The jukebox has a 6th sense for the songs we need to hear. It spins a lonesome pedal steel, then pours a frontier cheer. I order cheap domestic grace and let my shoulders drop, and feel the sawdust preach to me in honest homely song. Last call at Miller's barn, sing it soft and low, the kind of hymn that tucks you in before you've gotta go. We'll two-step through the worries that we carried in like rain, and hang our hats on nails of hope till we can stand again. Last call at Miller's barn, turn the bar lights warm. We'll bless the tired and bless the broke, and bless the weathered storm. If home is where the heart can rest from where it's been too far, then pour another midnight and keep shining Miller's bar. Dolores tells a story about the summer of '99, a lightning strike that scorched the roof but spared the county line. Folks came with buckets, ladders, love, they saved these boards and beams, she says, and taps the bar top like a drum for local dreams. A tourist couple asks for wine, she smiles and pours them neat, and slides a bowl of peanuts like a welcome for their feet. The band kicks up a fiddle tune, a waltz invites the floor, and every scar becomes a rhyme we've learned to sing once more. I find a hand I know by feel, the one that mends my days. She squeezes like a porch light that refuses not to blaze. We turn in little circles round the splinters and the scuffs, and make a rough embroidery of ordinary stuff. My buddy tips his hat at us, the welder taps the beat, the widow stands and smiles a smile that tastes like lemon sweet. It's nothing like a miracle and everything like that. A barn that loves the broken back into their boots and hats. Last call at Miller's barn, singing soft and low, the kind of hymn that tucks you in before you've gotta go. We'll two-step through the worries that we carried in like rain, and hang our hats on nails of hope till we can stand again. Last call at Miller's barn, turn the bar lights warm. We'll bless the tired and bless the broke, and bless the weathered storm. If home is where the heart can rest from where it's been too far, then pour another midnight and keep shining Miller's bar. The sheriff leaves his radio to charge beside the stage. He dances with his wife like they're the same delightful age. The drummer counts a whisper, one more chorus, one more spin. Dolores stacks the glasses like a fortress left within. A thunderhead is rolling slow across a corrugated roof. We listen like the children we were, leaning in to prove. If thunder's just a baritone that blesses wheat and carts, then last call is an amen that belongs to Miller's stars. Last call at Miller's barn, lights up but don't you fade. We'll tip the band and sweep the floor for all the joy they made. We'll turn our pockets inside out and find a little grace, enough to buy tomorrow and to kiss an honest face. Last call at Miller's barn, leave a stool for those not here, for those who work the graveyard, for the ones who changed the gear. Then lock the door, Dolores, with your ring of jangling charm, and we'll meet you come next Friday, safe at Miller's healing barn.
I saw her Chevy by the courthouse, sun just starting down. She had that Texas summer smile that could outshine the town. The gossip mill was grinding fine, she's meeting him again. But folks don't know the miles it takes to make a heart unbend. Her husband's been in Midland, gone 3 weeks or maybe 4. She wears his dog tag on a chain, but doesn't lock the door. Sometimes the heart just wants a walk where bluebonnets still bloom, to trade the scent of diesel for the whisper of perfume.
I park by Lawson's feedlot, where the crickets tell the truth, and waited by the cattle guard like we did back in our youth. She came barefoot through the wild grass, cut her heel and didn't cry. Said guess pain's the only honest thing that's never learned to lie.
We talked about the old days, football lights and August air, how I left for Oklahoma, chasing dust and never prayed. She laughed and threw a pebble straight into my regret.
Funny how you only come when the bluebonnets are set.
Bluebonnet Alibi, painted on the plane, cover up a memory with wildflower and rain. The truth's a little crooked, like a back road after dark, but love still leaves a tire track on the edges of your heart. Bluebonnet Alibi, bloom and then you die. We lie to keep from crying, and we cry to keep the lie. When the highway asks forgiveness, we'll be halfway out of sight, blaming it on flowers and a soft Texas night. She said he's not a bad man, just a man that's gone too long. Sometimes the silence hums so loud, it sounds like doing wrong. I nodded like a preacher who's forgotten half his creed, and pulled a cigarette. I swore I'd quit when I found need.
We didn't touch, we didn't kiss, but the air was full of flame. Two grown-up kids rehearsing lines they never meant to claim.
The moon came up in amber, the field began to glow. We stared at it like witnesses to something we should know.
I drove her back to Main Street, engine humming low and slow. She whispered, "Thanks for listening, it helps to let it go."
We stopped beside the diner.
I said, "Tell him you'll forgive. You're married for forever, so you might as well just live."
She smiled, the kind of tired grin that makes a man repent, then left a single blue bonnet on my dashboard, heaven sent.
By morning it had wilted, but the scent refused to fade. Like guilt in springtime color that forgiveness never made.
Bluebonnet Alibi, painted on the plane, cover up a memory with wildflower and rain. The truth's a little crooked, like a back road after dark, but love still leaves a tire track on the edges of your heart. Bluebonnet Alibi, bloom and then you die. We lie to keep from crying, and we cry to keep the lie. When the highway asks forgiveness, we'll be halfway out of sight, blaming it on flowers and a soft Texas night. The years roll on like fence lines stretching past what we confess. The radio still hums the tune of "Lord, I did my best."
Each April when the fields ignite in blue and lavender flame, I find that older turnout and I whisper her first name.
Not love, not sin, not even lust, just mercy taking form for two who found a gentle truth. Inside a Texas storm, I pluck one flower, let it fall, and drive until it's gone,
And pray the Lord sees alibis as halfway to atonement.
Bluebonnet Alibi, whisper me goodbye. The wind will keep the secret where the lonely fences sigh. The truth don't always punish, sometimes it just learns to hide, like a single bloom in springtime by a road
Where hearts collide.
Bluebonnet Alibi, bless us for the try. We never crossed the river, but we waved before the sky. And if love was just a season, and this one felt right, blame it on the flowers in a soft Texas night. Blame it on the flowers
In a soft Texas night.